The views expressed on the Nova Society are those of the panelists and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Phoenix Research Institute or any institution which any panel member is associated. Welcome back to the Nova Society, a space where dialogue deepens understanding and civic responsibility comes to life. I'm Dr. Mark Bound, joined by our regular panel, Dr. Scott Gershwer and Dr. Brooklyn Ann Weldon. Together, we'll unpack the stories that matter most, exploring the headlines, the history, and the big ideas shaping today's conversations. Let's dive in and hear what the panel has for us today.
Today, we have a question from Ted, who writes to us from Little Rock, Arkansas. And Ted writes, All right. And Ted writes, okay, maybe I'm being a conspiracy theorist here, but it all seems just a bit convenient. Trump skips his oldest son's wedding, and lo and behold, shots are fired on the White House grounds. I think it was actually like a block away. Actually, Ted. But anyway, making it look like a really pathetic assassination attempt. I know there are crazy people out there, and Trump is unpopular, but I don't know. This seems so conveniently staged. What does the panel think? I do believe it was not on the grounds. It was a block away.
I think it was at the checkpoint because apparently the Secret Service was well aware of this guy and they'd run into him before and he's made threats and stuff like that. It's just a local lunatic who
thought he was Jesus Christ.
whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, and just act it out. I mean, like whether this is a political assassination or just some crazy person trying to get some attention, who knows? I guess it doesn't really matter. Look, I am not a conspiracy theorist, but if there's one conspiracy theory that I believe, it's that the military and the CIA killed John F. Kennedy. That is the only one that I can actually go, yeah, that sounds kind of plausible to me. And I'm basing that on, just what happened after JFK died and LBJ, pushed us into the Vietnam War, which I think the generals and the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the CIA and everybody, all the right wingers in the government who were there, basically leftovers from the Eisenhower years, really wanted, and they got it. So that's the one conspiracy theory. I don't back it because I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence. Nobody has confessed. I mean, we know more about Mark Felt and Deep Throat than we do about the Kennedy assassination. It seems that somebody would have spoken up by now if that was true. As far as the assassination attempts on Trump, it just seems like it would be too hard to have that many people keeping that secret for this long, which is why I also don't think that Elon Musk fixed the 2024 election or any other number of conspiracy theories that are floating around out there. I would like to see evidence. I'm not happy with the results in any of these things a lot of times, but I am but I am thinking that it is pretty much what it looks like. Some kid wanted to kill a politician. He didn't care if it was Biden or Trump, so he jumped up on the roof of a building and fired a shot. Didn't come anywhere near Trump, from what I can gather, and it killed some other poor bastard in the audience. And I love the meme that they put out there that AI created of Jesus moving Trump out of the way. So yeah. I guess Jesus hated the comparatory even too much. It just doesn't make any sense. Jesus hated that guy comparatory. He moved Trump out of the way and got him killed. Yeah, it is unsavory stuff with the religion. And I don't know, like this, again, this guy's a lunatic. The guy who's like holed up by the golf course, kind of a lunatic. There's a lot of nuts out there, and too many guns.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think really what this comes down to it is, I understand where you're coming from, but I think the fact is, I don't think this was an assassination attempt. I mean, if it was, you're right, it would have been a very pathetic one. I don't, I just don't see it. It's sort of like what happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. If that was a true assassination attempt, it was a pretty piss poor one. Plain and damn simple. Especially if you're going to come and not bring your guns with you to do the assassination, you're going to leave them up in your room. I think it's the way that the media portrays it, especially the right-wing media. They're going to portray Trump as the victim in anything they possibly can to garner some sort of support. And that's just really what it comes down to. It's just the way it's portrayed. I didn't hear anybody on BBC or Deutsche Welle or any of these other, the foreign news organizations. I don't even think I heard it on CNN except from Scott Jennings, who's a complete ass, about this being in any way an assassination attempt. They basically framed it for exactly as Scott just framed it. A crazy young person looking for attention. There's no way. I mean, come on. You are not going to get past the security of the White House. I mean, are you insane? There's just no way. There's just too many people, too many checkpoints. You got Secret Service, you got the military. That it's just not going to happen. And the fact that that the media paints this as something far more than it was, way more than it was, is probably the thing that gets you the opinion that this is some sort of conspiracy theory, because you know what? That right-wing media wants you to believe in that conspiracy. Now, why did he not go to his son's wedding? I don't know. I don't think he likes any of his kids anyway. Beats the hell out of me. I mean, maybe. Well, here, this might be it.
He likes Ivanka.
Well, he wants to do Ivanka. I think here's the reason, because traditionally, if you're being a father of daughters, I understand this. As the father of the bride, you're responsible to pay for the wedding. That's tradition. The father of groom, though, is responsible for flowers and the alcohol. So maybe Trump just didn't want to buy the alcohol. I don't know. I have no clue. Why you would. Although it is, Don Jr. I mean, maybe that explains why he didn't go. I really couldn't say.
So I guess the reason that Trump gave for not going was that he needed to be at the White House in case there was something going on with Iran, right? I think that was it. But I also have read that he was like rushed to the hospital again. He had another screening or whatever they want to call it these days. Where he identifies which is the elephant, and it just seems to me that he looks like a guy who's in decline. His health is failing. He's not, he's never been in particularly good shape anyway, and he's just not a healthy guy. So he probably stayed closer to home because he needs medical attention, and I don't think that.
Did you see the breaking news? Former Attorney General Pam Bondi diagnosed with thyroid cancer.
Oh, bummer. Well, get well, Pam.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, and I guess there are other possibilities, but that's the one that strikes me as the most plausible.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
because I think also he called
this
a
is
meeting.
The 20th century.
Yeah.
Or 21st century. I mean, you don't have to be at the White House. You don't have to be at the White House. And yeah, he did. He called a meeting of his cabinet that's going to be happening.
But they were supposed to go to Camp David, and he hates Camp David, but he wanted everybody to go to Camp David, and then he said, "Oh, we're not going to Camp David." It's hard to know exactly what's going on in Trump world, because all they do is lie so much. There's no credibility of any sources that you would have. But my guess is that it's his health issues that are causing this. There was also some thought that if he stepped foot in the Bahamas, they would arrest him because they have laws there and they actually like to keep them. So that's an intriguing idea. Somebody should arrest him.
That is an intriguing idea, because after he is no longer president, which God please make it happen soon, how, he goes to Scotland to his golf course. What are the Scots going to do? Or goes to some of these other places that are members of the ICC. It's going to be interesting to see if his travel is curtailed. And I believe the Bahamas are a signatory to the ICC. So
yeah, I mean,
there you have it.
W doesn't travel anywhere, and
Yeah.
it's widely thought that W doesn't go anywhere because he's got what do you call them, out for him, warrants for his arrests, out for him in various countries, and he can't go anywhere. So, no, who knows?
Well, that's interesting.
That's
interesting. Very interesting.
We're going to have to come up with better conspiracies. I imagine we'll find out the truth eventually about all this, including the one that I mentioned before, the 2024 election. Because it really, if anybody could fix an election, it would be Elon Musk, right? With the resources that he has and the staff with the computer savvy and all that kind of stuff. I could see thinking that Elon fixed that election. There's just no evidence of it, and you would think that if there was, they would have brought it up long ago. Oh, by the way, the response of Republicans to the Epstein files being, if this is true, why didn't they bring it up before, is really one of the more ridiculous things I think that I've seen. First of all, this has been something that Trump has been talking about on the campaign, was talking about on the campaign trail, that he's going to release the Epstein files. And the supposition was that there were Democrats in the Epstein files, like Clinton, I guess, who he wanted to expose. But at the time that he was doing that, those files were under lock and key because Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal was going on for her conviction, and nobody could get at them. As soon as the appeal ended and Trump was either president, I'm not really sure what the timing was. I'm really sorry that I don't know that. But that once they became available, Trump completely 180'd on that and began trying to cover them up again rather than let them loose. And I, it really does seem to me that if you're going to run campaigning that you're going to do a thing, and then you have the opportunity to do it, and you've done everything that you can to stop them from being released, that there's a smoking gun there. The same doesn't work the other way. Joe Biden never ran on the premise that he was going to expose the Epstein files. I think that it was considered a closed matter, and he doesn't control his DOJ the way that Trump controls his DOJ. And it's a ridiculous line of attack by Republicans that I see all the time on social media. Just enough. It's that, and the Democrats were the ones who were the KKK. Like these, that whole thing. It's just crazy stuff. Stupid.
Yeah. You want to hear some really good conspiracy theories? We get this. Here we go. This is really good. This is about us. There's a theory, according to Podstats on Apple Podcast. The Nova Society is ranked 24th in social sciences in Italy. We are ranked 108th in social sciences in Australia. 138th in social sciences in the United Kingdom. And come on, Canada, pick it up. 155 in social sciences in Canada. Here's a conspiracy theory. Obviously, somebody likes us. Go figure.
We could be big stars in Italy.
We're big stars. Mange, buongiorno. Yeah, I mean, we could do all that. We're gonna do it on location from Rome.
Yeah, we love you, Italia.
Yeah, we love Italian. Yeah, absolutely. You, Australia, United Kingdom. Come on, Canada, step it up a little bit.
As I understand it, RFK, the father, believed that it was a mob hit on JFK, and he signed off on the Warren report, simply to sign off on it and get it signed and whatnot, rather than pursuing it further. But he never believed it. He the person who shot the guy who was supposedly killed JFK.
Oswald?
Yes, thank you, Oswald. The one who killed him also
Jack Ruby.
Yes, thank you. Jack Ruby apparently also had mob connections. And
he was the nightclub owner.
Yeah. So that was what RFK thought, which is interesting. And those were people, there were many people, I guess. Jack Ruby was connected with many people, unless I'm misunderstanding what I listened to. Bad Things, True Crime, something like that. Bad Things, What Really Happened. Anyway, Jack Ruby was connected with people whom RFK had prosecuted and put in prison. So anyway, I thought that was very interesting. So I believe we answered the question from Ted. Yep. I hope so.
And here you go, Ted. Let's remember one thing. 2% of the world's population still believes that the world is flat.
Yeah.
That's the audience you got to deal with. And that's all the time we have for today's episode. The Nova Society is a production of Nova Society Media, a division of the Phoenix Research Institute. We want to thank our production partners, Buzzsprout, who hosts the Nova Society, Audacity, our editing team, Apple Podcasts, the largest source of podcast and music online, Spotify, the most popular platform for the Nova Society, and iHeartRadio, your destination for all things music and podcasting. The Nova Society is available on all of these and other quality platforms listed in our description. And most importantly, we want to thank you, our listeners. Without your support, the Nova Society could not be possible. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing on the platform of your choice. It's easy, it's free, and helps our channel grow. For questions or comments, you can reach us at nova.society.podcast@gmail.com. So on behalf of Dr. Brooklyn Ann Weldon, Dr. Scott Gershworth, and all of our production partners here at the Nova Society, I'm Dr. Mark Bound. Remember, the true power of society is knowledge. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you again next time.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening!